Welcome, dear students, to another class of Standard 9, The Lost Child, Part 8. In this particular lesson, The Lost Child, we will see a child goes to a fair with his parents. He is happy and excited and wants the sweets, toys displayed there. Obviously, a child is there, he will see, he gets all these things because small children are very crazy about these things. So this is only the theme of the lesson. And he gets lost, we'll see in the second part. But the first part, we'll see how he proceeds into the fair with his parents and what is his attitude towards the things he sees and how the parents, show their emotions to the child. Also, Mulkraj Anand, the writer, has always been a type of a writer who writes in an ornamental language. Ornamental language means a language that is much more given the extra words which makes you visualize the whole theme or seeing the thing which is being seen, the extra thing which will see as you see in the lesson. We'll see, I'll explain you how the ornamental language is written. Okay, so in the initial stage, how he writes the bombastic type of style of his writing, we'll see. It was his festival of spring. The spring season starts and the number of people get ready for the fair because fairs are arranged by the organizers and we enjoy it. We in modern day also do it. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes, and alleys also these narrow passages, emerge a gaily clad humanity. Always, going to the fair, everyone feels happy. Who will make a sad face and move towards a fair? See, that is gaily clad, and clad also means nicely dressed. You go in a fair. Then some rode on horses. It was not time of vehicles on the road, huh? So they moved the horses and bullock carts towards the fair. One little boy ran between his father's legs, dreaming over with life and laughter. Small children, mele mein jayenge, going in the fair, so they're very happy. And between his father's legs, he's small, so he can move that way. He wants to go by that way. So we've seen the first paragraph, the scene of how people are moving towards the fair. Come, child, come. Children are always very much, taken care because in fair what happens? Children gets lost. So therefore, children are always taken care, extra care. So in those days there was no mobile or like that. So you can call parents. Today's children have the father's mobile number, or and they call it and arrangement is done accordingly. But it was not possible so easy in those days, without mobile. So extra care had to be taken. As he lagged behind, fascinated with the toys in the shops that lined the way, he was fascinated, attracted towards the shops having the toys lined up for sale. So he hurried towards the parents, his feet obedient to the call. As he obedient towards the call, his feet is obedient. See, this is ornamental language. Feet is not obedient. He uses this type of personification, all that his feet are obedient. So here you can see the parents are calling and he has to not wait there near the shop, the toys he want to watch and look after. He has to get to his parents. So he's afraid of his parents and moves ahead with his father and mother. He would not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. When you desire something in the fair, it's not always your parents give. It's a universal truth. But here, children, you can see the child is enough effort he's making to make his parents feel that he wants that particular toy or like that, but that is not being given. and he knows that he will not be. So stare means what? You will not get it. Keep that with you. So stare of refusal in their eyes only. No, for it will not be given. I want that toy, he pleaded. His father looked at him red-eyed. Red-eyed, gusse se. In his familiar tyrant way. His mother melted in the free spirit of the day, the tender, and giving him a finger to hold. Look, child, what is before you? So he's diverting. His father is saying, "No, I will not die." So the child should not become afraid of that anger. So mother is always soft-hearted. So she tries to divert the mind of the child towards the other thing. It was a flowering mustard field, pale like melting gold. Gold melting, Visualize that. The gold is melting in that mustard field, yellow. It's that type of ornamental language. Mulkraj Anand has the style of writing, stylistics he uses in this type of writing. Sweet across the miles and miles of even land, miles and miles. Still you can see, till you can see the farthest with your eyes. Till there you will see this, he means to say. A group of dragonflies were bustling around in the gaudy purple wings. On the gaudy purple, gaudy, dirty, purple. He writes that way. Gaudy means dirty, and purple wings, he doesn't like the color maybe. That is why. Bustling means busy dragonflies, moving about. Intercepting the flight of lone black bee or a butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. Intercepting, butterflies, are there. Intercepting means, making a way out of that tube. Then they are intercepting. See how he makes you visualize the butterfly, the dragonfly, how their movement also, is so nicely described away. The child followed them in the air with gaze. Children like butterflies and to run after the dragonflies and all that. This child does that. Till one of them would still its wings and rest, and he would try to catch it. Butterflies, when they sit still, you try to catch it because of the color. And he would try to catch it, but it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air when he almost caught it in his hands. You feel as if you have caught it, but it senses that danger and flies and flutters very fast away. Then this mother gave a cautionary call, "Come child, come onto the footpath. Don't, move away from us, you'll get lost." He ran towards his parents gaily, walked abreast of them for a while. Being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath and the teeming out from the hiding place to enjoy the sunshine. Insects, moving out in the morning to, get their wings warmed. That also nicely given. And that for seeing all this, the child is lingering back, and at that time the mother and father are telling, "Come child, come." A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove. The parents, he began to gather the raining petals of his hands, but lo, petals is gathering, that's falling from the grove, close trees, and as you enter, what happens? The flowers and the leaves, the petals of that particular flowers fall. That is trying to gather, but at that time, he sees another scene and he diverts his mind. The cooing of the doves, and ran towards his parents, shouting, "The dove, the dove!" The raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. See? Forgotten hands. The fans are forgetting that the petals are falling. I'm enjoying that, and at the same time, he's seeing the doves, and he's running towards his parents to tell them, "See, the doves are also there." So he's forgetting at the time the petal, which were also giving him joy. So that is the typical way of Mulkraj Anand's writing. "Come, child, come," they called to the child. "You can now who had now gone running in the wild capers round the banyan tree and gathering him Up they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard field. So through that passages they are moving towards the fair. As they neared the village, the child would see many other footpaths full of throngs converge into the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world in he was entering. So many people, are on the footpath, full of throngs, and they're converging to the whirlpool of. See, whirlpool means a lot many together, of the fair. Whirlpool, center, and converging to the whirlpool means moving, diverting to the center. Full of throngs means this on footpath people are selling, and so many things are there, and felt at the once repelled and fascinated. Repel means, as magnet repels, and you're studying science. Repels and attracts. So here, fascinated by, repelled and fascinated. See his language. At once repelled. Repel means he is trying to divert his mind from that, and fascinated also. He is fascinated. He is attracted towards by the confusion of the world he was entering. Confused. A sweetmeat seller hogged gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and crowd pressed round his counter, the food of an architecture of many colored sweets. See, he writes. Always, as you enter at that time, you see ice cream stalls and other sweetmeat stalls lined. That thing is so nicely described over here. The display of architecture. Architecture means you must have seen sweets, on one on the other, the cubes of this barfi and mithai and rasgulla also decorated in a particular way. So that is architecture according to Mulk Raj Anand. Decorated with leaves of silver and gold, silver foil and gold is there. So it's actual gold and silver. He says like that. The child stared open-eyed, and his mouth watered for a barfi, that his favorite sweet. I want that barfi, he slowly murmured. But he half knew, as he begged of his plea, would not be heeded. His parents would not heed means will not accept his request of getting the barfi. His parents would say he was greedy, lalchi. You want all these things. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. A flower seller hogged. A garland of gulmohar, a garland of gulmohar. Gulmohar ke haar le jao. The child seemed irresistibly drawn. He went towards the basket where the flowers lay heaped and half murmured. I want that garland. So he wants that garland also, for playing garland with flowers. He likes it. But he well knew that his parents would refuse to buy him those flowers because they would say that they were cheap. Sasta hai, kya lene ka? So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. A man stood holding a pole with a yellow, red, green and purple balloons flying from it. It flies up, balloons are lined up on the pole. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of the silken colors, and he was filled with the overwhelming desire to possess them all. Sare jo balloons se mujhe mil jaye, that type of feeling is overwhelming, too much excessive desire. Want se bhi zyada kuch cheez hai, to that is desire. Zarurat yani want, and desire means excessive that want. You want it, though it is not useful. That is the desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say that he was too old to play with such toys. Balloon khilne ki teri umar nahi hai, you are very small, don't play. So he walked on farther. A snake charmer. Always in olden days, the snake charmer used to, play on his flute to the dance of the snake. People gathered and gave him money in the basket. Its head raised in a great graceful bend like a neck of a swan. The music stole into its invisible ears like the gentle rippling of an invisible rainfall. See, the music is rippling and falling into the ears. If invisible ears are there, up till now, people were not knowing, ignorance of people were, or Indians in particular, blind faith, and they used to give this hearing was not possible. As you know, snakes don't hear. They don't have ears, but here Guru Raj Anand says that these people thought that there were invisible ears and water was like rippling water, it gives the sound, that sound was getting into the ears. The child went towards the snake charmer, but knowing his parents had forgotten him to hear such coarse music as the snake charmer played, he proceeded further. According to the child, it was good to watch the music, but he knew that the parents will tell that the coarse music, coarse means कर्कश, जो सुनने को अच्छा नहीं लगे, that type of coarse type of music is there. So they proceeded further. They didn't pay heed to it. There was a roundabout in full swing. Roundabout, fair means roundabout. Men, women and children carried away in whirling motion, whirling, moving round motion, that's called whirling motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. Shriek, as you know, the merry-go-round moves down towards downward. At that time, there are butterflies in your stomach. You feel dizzy. You feel excited and shriek. That sound is also put it very nicely. The child watched them intently and then made a bold request. I want to go to the roundabout, please, father, mother. So he's asking that. But here the child, as you see, the main question will be how the child is making requests to the parents, which things he wants. At the same time, the other question will be how or what is the view of the passage towards the fair, that is described by Guru Raj Anand, the writer, in this particular lesson. So in the first half we complete over here of this lesson. Till then, see you in the next class. Thank you.